Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. Sorry, I'm doubling in my mic, so I just need to double check if I'm doubling on stream. Give me 1 second. Okay, should be fine now. I'm not doubling anymore. So, hello. So this is my first time on YouTube because I'm usually a Twitch frog. Oh shit, I'm still doubling. That's weird. Let's see. Double. Oh, I'm still doubling. That's weird. Let's see. Double. Oh, I'm still doubling. That's weird. I should have done more textures. But I'll probably just cut this out. Don't worry, Punica. Don't worry. I'm just gonna Google why Sure. Double on you. That is possible. If you have enabled the blue and turn off the light options. No. Oh. Mother of God.
How to solve the double sound solution on YouTube. One solution. You're on the YouTube website. Nothing to turn on YouTube video player.
Motherfucker, this is for streaming. You've had the same source of audio more than once. Ooh.
No, it's not true.
Test. Let's see. Maybe it's fixed now. Test. Let's see. Maybe. Okay. It seems to be fine now. But unfortunately, I can hear myself, which is making me go like. It is what it is. It be how it be. Yeah. That's weird. I'm being picked up as desktop audio.
Oh well.
But anyways, time to start. Starting now. Ha. But basically, yeah, like this is my first time on YouTube. And yeah. The main reason why I'm on YouTube instead of Twitch is because this game is banned on Twitch. I wonder why. So I'm here. And plus, like, I was looking through the people that actually streamed this game on YouTube, and I was like, oh shit, there's no one that's actually voiced the whole damn thing. Whenever there's like a Japanese part, they're just like, oh yeah, I'll just let the Japanese person speak. But for me, when it comes to visual novels, I'm one of those people, if I'm gonna watch it, I'd rather someone voice it all, so I don't have to look at the screen and read it. So I'm gonna read all of it for lazy asses like me. And yeah, this game, I've been looking forward to it since its announcement, which was like 5 years ago, I think. And yeah, you can tell I'm really obsessed with it. Like, look at my VTuber design. You can see elements of slow damage array incorporated in my design. Plus, I'm a illustrator, queer, fucked up, and love doctors and pink-haired bitches. So you can see why this game is my cup of tea. I've been really looking forward to it. anyways, let us start. Yeah. I'm so excited. Yeah. This is what I see when I'm offline. Thank you for purchasing Slow Damage. Sorry, I didn't know what voice I should do for this. Maybe just my normal one, my normal voice. Before we begin, here's a helpful explanation of the interrogation gameplay segments. You'll need this information because interrogation can be tricky. You'll be able to skip this tutorial on subsequent playthroughs. During an interrogation, as you speak to your target, try to feel the euphoria gauge. Doing so will progress the story. That is your ultimate objective in every interrogation. Yay! Talk to him and try to expose his secret. The text you see in your memo pad will serve as a hint. Act accordingly to make progress in the interrogation. That being said, it's only a hint, and isn't necessarily always the right choice. Depending on the flow of the conversation and your target's body language, you may want to take things in a different direction. Your choices will determine the outcome. I imagine so. Isn't that amazing? Wow. Ooh, pretty graphics. Yeah. Hey, buddy. Next, let's talk about the hourglass and jagged lines. The hourglass represents your target's euphoria level. Fill the hourglass to the line at the middle and the sand will start glowing. That means you've achieved full euphoria. As you approach full euphoria, the red line will flash, letting you know you're almost there. The purple line at the bottom is the minimum baseline for euphoria. If the sound should fall below this line, it will result in a game over, so be careful. Oh shit. The sand will glow to warn you if you start to get too close. The jagged line represents the target's madness. In other words, their emotional wounds. Oh, wow. As their wounds are ripped open, madness will increase. As the blue fill line, you'll achieve full madness. As you approach, it will start glowing. At full madness, the hourglass will start to crack, like so. So to recap, at full euphoria, the sand will glow. At full madness, the hourglass will crack. As the wound closes, madness will decrease. Kinda wanna go for madness now. Achieving full euphoria will complete the interrogation, but full madness will lead to other paths and affect the ending. Route branching only occurs during important story scenes, but the result of each interrogation will impact the euphoria and madness of the ones that follow. Oh. Low madness will inflict a madness penalty. At high madness... What the fuck, I'm offline? Bro? Huh? Motherfucker. Anyways. A high madness will grant a madness bonus. This concludes the Euphoria Madness tutorial. To check your objective, move the cursor to the right-hand edge of the screen. That way you won't forget.
Nah.
You're the vampire everyone's talking about, right? To check your objective, move the cursor. Sorry, I was just checking my audio. I thought I was still doubling. No, I'm not a vampire. Give a positive response to agree or a negative response to disagree. During the interrogation, you can respond with negative or positive answers. Positive answers are negative, while more assertive answers are positive. Passive. Oh, passive. This decision will affect your target's euphoria and madness. Their status is displayed at the bottom of the screen, but choose carefully to raise their euphoria. As for raising their madness, why don't you give it a try? I want to be an asshole.
Negative.
Negative.
本当に
Even though you crave blood. Use inspiration to dig deeper, or not, your choice. Here's where you'll use inspiration gained by talking to people in the exploration segments. We'll talk more about exploration later. Using your inspiration will impact your target's euphoria and madness. In fact, it gives you a bigger boost compared to negative and positive answers. Additionally, inspiration has a few different patterns. 2 choice answers, A or B. Sequential answers, no questions, A to B. And even 2 choice answers, A or B, that lead to sequential questions, A to B, B to A. If this all sounds confusing, don't worry! Use your inspiration whenever you see something that you want to ask more about. Yeah, I'll do that. And unlike negative or positive, you can always choose not to use your inspiration at all. Oh. Sometimes the best option is to say nothing at all. That's true. Bait him. Now let's try it! His name... Maybe the top one. You want to drink blood or what?
気になるな
This tells you that euphoria is not the goal this time. Oh. When the hourglass is black, madness is the goal. On rare occasions, the goal may be to avoid full madness. You'll have to judge for yourself depending on the circumstances. In situations where euphoria is not the goal, don't let the sand fall too low or it's game over. This time, the hourglass has been repainted white. This means the goal has changed back to full euphoria. As you can see, the hourglass may offer hints about the objective. Interesting.
この傷跡
The scar. Man's deepest desire. If you fill the euphoria gauge within the specified number of turns, you can use the cues acquired in the story to rip open your target's secret scars. Oh, cool. Pick the right clue and the wound will open, progressing the story. But be careful, the wrong choice will lower the euphoria gauge. If you haven't reached full euphoria, once it's time to choose a clue, game over. If you fall below the euphoria line, that's game over too. Now, use a clue and see if you can open this man's secret scar. Oh.
喉が渇く
This concludes the interrogation tutorial. If you ever like a refresher, check the interrogation section of how to play. With further ado, welcome to Slow Damage! Yay! Opening time? Huh? Nope. Oh, okay. Alright. This text is way too slow, I need to make it faster. The human heart is soft. like a fistful of fine sand. So, you must be very careful of how you handle it. I'm not quite sure how to describe it. I never imagined my wish would come true. You've made me so... Oh wait, shit, I just realized the screen's not centered. Oops. Yep. Let's make that bigger. Okay, there we go. It started to rain. There we go, it should be good. Mindlessly, I move my brush. What? Oh, that's it.
Are you gonna paint with no palette? Ah!
The patter of the rain mingled with the faint scritching of paint spreading across the canvas. The sound slowly filled my empty head. It felt like my insides were melting in the heat of the dark desire I had just harvested. But before that feeling faded away entirely, the same. I needed to capture it on the canvas.
Hello?
Who is it? I'm naked. Yeah. Hello? Who is it?
Oi.
Hey.
Oi.
Hey. Bruh.
起きろ。
Wake
いつまで
up.
寝てるんだ。
I swear you sleep too much. A familiar deep voice spoke into my ear, summoning me back to the waking world. Was it morning, or closer to noon, or was it later than that? I'd slept like the dead, and my perception of time was shot. I lifted my head from the sofa where I lay face down. My eyelids were practically glued shut. That means you're really tired. Blinking, I forced them open. What time had I gone to bed last night? Definitely sometime past midnight. At some point, I had passed out on the sofa.
もう昼だぞ。出
It's
勤時間が
already
とう
noon,
に過ぎて
pal.
る。
Your shift started hours ago. Shit, this is me. At this, I sluggishly pushed myself up into a sitting position.
Hey!
Hello, doctor. Hey, what's up, bro? What's up? Hey, how's it going? The other man peered closely at me, exuding orange smoke. This was Murase Takuma, or Taku for short.
お前な、常々思ってるんだが、本当に働く気があるのか？
You know, I keep wondering, do you even give a damn about this job?
あ
Yeah.
おい、ちゃんと目を見て返事しろ。
Hey, look at me in the eye when you speak to me. I looked up into Taku's reproachful eyes. His brow was furrowed deeply.
あるって
I said yes. As I spoke, I grabbed a pack of cigarettes off the coffee table, pulled one out, and put it between my lips.
あのな、悠長にタバコを吸ってる暇があるなら、とっとと起きて支度しろってんだ。
Look here, buddy. You don't have time to kick back with a cigarette. Get your ass up and get dressed. Right as I lit my cigarette and took my first slow drag, Taku reached out and ruffled my hair. I shook my head slightly to knock his hand away.
ったく
Good grief. Taku let out an exaggerated sigh. His other arm carried a stack of clean clothes. He was the sort of busybody who would periodically come into my apartment to clean and do laundry. According to him, it would turn into a pigsty otherwise, and he was correct. Oh no, he's me.
ここに置いておくぞ。
I'll just leave these here. He set the clean laundry on the bed, then turned to the door.
しかしこの部屋、ほんと油臭いよな。
Yeah, that's really not good for you. You really need to ventilate. I gotta say, this room really reeks of paint fumes.
今更だろ
Oh, now you care?
別に嫌いじゃないがな。
Nah, I don't really mind it. Yeah, he smokes. How can you judge? They both smell like shit. For real.
あ、それとお前、またテレビつけっぱなしだったぞ。いい加減ちゃんと消してから寝ろよ。
Oh yeah, and another thing. You keep leaving the TV on. You need to turn that crap off before you go to sleep.
多分な
I'll try.
多分ってなんだ。それじゃ、下で待ってるぞ。早く来いよ。
You'd better. Anyways, I'll be downstairs. Hurry down, alright? And with that, he left. The paint smell could be traced to the stuff that I'd pile over in the corner. A bunch of canvases, a slapdash collection of paints, well-worn palette, and a handful of brushes. Bro, you should kind of clean that shit. Then again, I don't paint. I usually use watercolors, graphite, and digital, so paint is really messy, so yeah, I don't use it. A forest of rectangular canvases, a disorganized pile of paints, old, worn-out palettes and brushes. But the fumes didn't bother me. They should. They're a carcinogen, you dumb fuck. Or maybe I was just used to them by now. Dumb fuck. Idiot. Why is your pants unbuttoned? I leaned back against the sofa, cigarette between my lips, forcing my fuzzy brain to think. What happened yesterday? I bit back a yawn. My body felt like lead. Oh, that's right. Yesterday I'd gone out late night to drink at the usual place. Then some rando started talking to me.
Hey, sister.
I was totally blitzed, so when he invited me to leave, I jumped at the chance without even looking at him. Then he led me into a narrow alleyway, and for some reason we were both so horny we started screwing right there. Kill. Even I couldn't tell you why I was so worked out. Now my back ached from being slammed up against a brick wall. The guy wasn't much of a lay. How old was he? 20s? Or maybe early 30s? Regardless, I must have accidentally taken too much pills when I got home, because I slept like a log. Yas. It was Taku who prescribed them to me in the first place, since I'd always been kind of an insomniac. Oh my god, he's me for real. Really bad insomnia. On the nights I didn't take them, I'd either have terrifying nightmares, Or I'd drift in and out of sleep all night long, sometimes into Last night I was so drunk I couldn't remember how many I'd taken. Shouldn't you not mix that shit up with alcohol? Nothing new though. What the fuck? I knew you weren't supposed to take medication with alcohol in your system. Yeah, then don't do it, bitch. As a result, I always felt like shit. Yeah. Taku kept telling me to knock it off, but I had no plans to stop. I pinched a cig between my fingers, drew my sleeve to my nose, and took a whiff. It reeked of booze, smoke, and sweat. I knew Taku wanted me downstairs ASAP, but I needed a shower. Yeah, I would rather shower and be late than stinky and on time, to be honest. Last time I went to work in the state, the elderly patients all gave me dirty looks. Yeah. Also, really feel like crap. Cigarette in mouth, I rose to my feet and stretched. But then I became aware of my empty stomach. With the ideal realization that my body was hungry, I slid my gaze over to the table and floor. What I saw wasn't food, but booze. Is this bitch gonna come to work plastered? What the fuck? What the fuck? I seem to remember leaving a half-empty bottle somewhere around here, but I couldn't find it. Did Taku move it? If so, he probably put it back in the fridge. But to me, getting stuff out of the fridge was too much effort. Yeah, me too, man. If you offered me booze or... Oh, if you offered me food or alcohol, I would take the booze without hesitation. Food never interested me much. That's why you're so skinny, legend. Sis. With nothing to drink, my only option was to take one last drag, then crush my cigarette in the ashtray. As I exhaled gray smoke, I trudged into the bathroom and stepped into the shower stall. This is such a good song. I hope I don't get copyright strike. I'm gonna talk during it because I'm just afraid. I don't really care for editing it out, but yeah, the music in this game is really damn good. Yeah, I'm just gonna talk over it because I'm paranoid. If you want to watch the opening, just fucking go on YouTube, man. But like especially the trailer for this game. Like, it was actually really striking as well. It was like edgy and like not too much, but I would say it's still quite as enchanting as its opening do. And also, I really like that they kind of like usually for visual novels, it's only like still art that's like moved around and animated. But I think this opening has a tiny bit of the part where there was like it was like slightly earlier where he's like looking up and his mouth's open. But I really like the look of openings like this to be honest. It's quite like I don't know. Really enchanting. So I'm worried. I don't know when the not safe for work scenes are. So I'll probably have to cut that shit out of the VOD. Or keep it in if I'm feeling naughty. Tokyo in the year 22X. After Japan went to great lengths to host the Olympic Games. Oh, that didn't fucking happen. Oh shit! Yeah. It kind of was a failure because it didn't end up happening, right? Oh shit! I should have read that. Burdened with massive debt, the nation was plunged into economic insecurity. I guess this game was made before the Olympics and shit, so... The poverty rate, which had been slowly growing since the late 2010s, showed no signs of abating. I wonder what that means. Then starting in the early 2020s, the gulf between the rich and the poor widened dramatically. I'm not sure about Japan, but that's definitely true where I live. Young people in particular were especially impoverished, and the underemployment rate scored to more than 60% for both men and women. Yeah, it's pretty bad here for me. Even with a full-time job, they knew they would be overworked and underpaid, thus the suicide rate shot up. Yeah, I know that's a big problem in Japan. I think for here, like, you get underpaid, but not super overworked. It depends on the job, I guess. Also increasing exponentially among young people for the first time ever. Homelessness and crime rates. I guess this takes place maybe 6 years in the future or some shit. The nation of Japan was visibly headed into decline. This was a major recession on a historical level. The one outlier was Shinko, previously called Tokyo Waterfront City. This was the only part of the country where casinos were legally allowed to operate. As a result, it was re-established as a special economical zone. The government's infamous casino bill received criticism on all sides. At the start of construction, the hired contractor, the Takasato Gumi, was suspected of rigging bids for the contract. After a tremendous struggle, they eventually settled on a more realistic proposal. The bill would only legalize small-scale public casinos in specific areas. When the dust settled, all that remained was a steel-framed monument on a vacant lot and a community of prostitutes and vagrants. Yeah. But then there came a turning point. Nice logo. Leader of the Takasato Gumi, Takasato Ryujiro, offered to buy the whole thing and take over operations. Everyone assumed it would end in failure, but as it turned out, he received a great deal of funding behind the scenes. In this dark era, the people wanted someone to change things, so they clung to the first ray of hope they thought they saw. Yeah. Plagued with crushing national debt and a dying economy, the government had no other option. A short time later, after an agonizing debate, the Takazumi Gumi was full of control of Shinko Gumi development and operation. Gun opposed the subsequent amendment to the casino bill, which slashed the public-only requirement. A year later, the city was overflowing with people in pursuit of liberty and money, just like VTubing. Lured in by encompassing resort facilities, international tourism increased by 60%. And so Shinko Gumi became known as Japan's biggest casino resort. Office buildings and recreational attractions sprang up one after another, creating a massive entertainment district. Next came the residential and business districts, and after that, Shinko Gumi became the one bright spot amid the devastating depression. Yeah. Meanwhile, it required a certain amount of aggressive force to control a world full of unspoken rules. Shit, I just got evil. As Shinko Gumi brought Japan's economy back to life, the Takasato Gumi began to expand their control. Eventually, when the tactic threat stopped working, the government designated Shinko Gumi as Special Administrative Regent. After that, the Takasato Gumi especially had their own little nation that they could govern as they saw fit. Wow. But this slapdash prosperity was never destined to last long. Everything began to decline at a slow, leisurely pace. Now, more than a decade later, in the year 20XX, oh, this is probably 2030 or some shit. Wonder if they talk about global warming in this game. Or something. The generation born during the decline of the early 21st century were henceforth called hapless children. Day in and day out, they traveled to the business district either to forget their chronic depression or earn enough money to eat that day. The casino industry was still thriving, but the bubble had burst. Oh, bubble economy. And as Shinko Gumi started to decay, criminal activity became more common. No snitches, bros. Nevertheless, with one last shred of hope in their hearts, they lingered in this lawless town. It's no use. This just isn't enough. Not anymore. Chapter 1. Race? I'm too dumb for this. I don't know big words like that. Oh! Hey, Danya. What's up? On a quiet corner of a residential block, Merced Clinic stood concealed among the rows of prefab houses. This tiny clinic first opened 7 years ago, privately owned and operated by Merced Takuma himself. Specializing in internal medicine, dermatology, and gastroenterology. I think that's like the gut. Dr. Murase had an upstanding reputation that attracted patients not just from the local neighborhood, but workers from business district too. The clinic opened its doors somewhat late at 10 a.m. That's a good time. From 1:30 p.m. to 4 p.m., Taku would take a long lunch, and then after he got back, he'd stay open until 1 a.m. That's a long lunch. His unusual hours were dearly appreciated by night workers who couldn't find time to go to the doctors otherwise. Yeah, they always close at like 4 p.m. It's like, shit. I have a part-time job here at this clinic. In exchange for low wages, Taku let me sleep in the apartment upstairs on the top floor of the clinic. Nice. Below that, the second floor was home to the secondary medical ward, full of hospital cots. The primary medical ward was down on the first floor, next to the exam room. As for Taku himself, he didn't live here at the clinic. I never asked for this job or this rented room. It was all his idea. He wanted me to build character or something. That was why he never fired me, no matter how badly I overslept. Conversely, you could say he didn't put any stock in me whatsoever. You're cheap Larry, bro, so like... I didn't fight it since it would only create more of a hassle, but I wasn't interested in improving my life. If he got sick of me and threw me out on the street, then so be it. I felt no fear towards the future. Not because I couldn't picture it, but because I had no real sense of urgency. I knew it would all work out regardless. Or maybe I just didn't have anything left to lose. Yeah, same sister. As soon as I walked out of the bathroom, a yawn escaped my lips. I hadn't bothered to dry my hair. Sleepily, I scanned the room with one blurry eye. On a whim, my gaze settled on the pocket watch hanging on the easel on the corner of the room. I couldn't remember when or where I got it, but Ray put it on the easel after he found it lying around somewhere in my room. That was a few years back. The watch itself stopped, but I didn't feel like winding it, so it was basically just there for a decoration. It's a nice decoration, man. It's edgy, gothic. Instead of the non-functioning pocket watch, I looked up at the wall clock. It was just past 11:15 a.m. That's not too late. That's not too late. If I didn't hurry down the first floor, Taku was going to come raging up here any minute now. It's like an hour and 15 minutes late. I got dressed and left the apartment without bothering to lock it behind me. Then I walked to the elevator and pressed the down button. There was nothing in the apartment worth stealing anyway. I don't know about the economy, but sometimes people steal art from artists. Like, I went to art school, so that was a problem, so they had to lock certain areas. Or burn it down. You know, people hate art. I rode the elevator down to the first floor, then headed to the waiting room. Sitting at the reception desk where I worked was an uptight guy by the name of Arimura Tsukasa. Hey, bitch. Hey. When he spotted me, he scowled, rose to his feet, and left the desk. The look on his face screamed, "You're late!" Technically, I was supposed to be covering the reception desk, but Arimura must have come to cover for me. This happened on occasion. And that occasion happened a lot. Oh yeah, he hates you. An aura of faded blue swayed around Arimura. I call this colorful aura smoke. Apparently, only I could see it. Each person had their own uniquely colored smoke, which shifted depending on their mental state. The most obvious change happened when someone was angry. The color would get muddy. I couldn't see my own smoke, however. No clue when I first started seeing it from what I could remember. I used to think everyone could see it. Once I found out that wasn't the case, I stopped telling people about it. Was it some kind of superpower? Yeah, it's because you're the protagonist, bro. Probably not. More than likely, it was proof that something was wrong with me. Like a hallucination? Perhaps. Hence, I generally didn't give it much thought.
Yo.
I called out to Arimura in spite of his resting bitch face. He was the most reliable nurse a clinic had. Whenever his shift ended, he would go downtown to go drinking at a gay bar. Yas, sister, yas, slay. Apparently I wasn't his type.
父さん、遅れて悪かったって。
Look, sorry I'm late, alright?
いいえ、それは今更なのでもういいです。
No, I'm quite used to that by now.
それより、自分宛ての荷物はちゃんと持って行ってください。いつも置きっぱなしじゃないですか。
More importantly, I wish you'd take your things to your room instead of leaving them lying around.
ああ。放置するなら処分しますから。
Or would you prefer I threw it all out? Man, this guy is like my mom and my sister. All mail delivered to the clinic was taken to the staff room. Arimura was in charge of sorting it. Sometimes I would buy art supplies or books online, but other than that, I never got any packages. So if I received anything else in the mail, I would just assume it was junk and didn't bother collecting it. Honestly, I would prefer getting art books and art supplies in person, because I don't know, they could be different online versus in person. TBH.
それでいいよ。
Yeah, go ahead. His eyes narrowed even further, but I ignored him and stepped into the staff room. The reception desk and staff room were divided by a single curtain. I pushed past it and arrived at the reception desk interior. Arimura gave me a dirty look and walked off down the hall. From here on, I would spend the next few hours bored out of my skull. The clinic was quiet, peaceful, and utterly devoid of stimulus. I called the next patient up to pay their bill. Then I set their medical exam card, insurance card, itemized bill, and prescription up on the counter. Robotically, I processed the payment. Then, biting back another yawn, I called for the next patient to proceed to the exam room. A.m. Today, my shift ended in the afternoon, so I headed back to my apartment. I lounged lazily on the sofa for a while. Then, after the clinic closed, I headed back downstairs. No real reason. I was just bored of my apartment. Another day of hard work over at last. As I sat slumped on a bench in the empty waiting room, Taku walked out from the hallway, his orange smoke hanging over him. It's like a Jesus aura. Stretching his arms up, he turned his head from side to side, cracking his neck so loudly I half wondered if he broke something.
お疲れ。
Good work today. I didn't mean a word of it though. He stared at me.
寝坊常習犯に言われたくないな。
I wish I could say the same thing for you, Mr. Chronic Oversleeper.
ちゃんと働いただろ。
Yeah, I worked hard.
そう言いたければ朝はちゃんと起きろよ。俺。
If you want me to believe that, then try waking up on time. Here. He pulled something out of his coat pocket and tossed it at me. I caught it and looked down. It was a can of coffee.
入れてくれないのか?
Canned? Not fresh?
お前なんか缶コーヒーで十分だ。
Buddy, you don't deserve fresh coffee. That being said, he was still treating me to a free drink as a token of his appreciation. Yeah. Taku bought canned coffee in bulk and kept the staff room fridge stocked at all time for this exact reason. Sometimes, when he was filling up to it, he'd make fresh coffee instead, but for the most part, he took the faster, easier option. Me too, man. Lazy as well.
備品の発注と掃除終わりました。
This is my favorite character. Place the orders, finish the cleaning, and I'm all done. Right as I cracked open the can, the exam room opened and a bubbly voice rang out. Hey.
Yes, sister, yes. Love you, Ray.
It was Izumi Ray, one of the other part-timers. Love this sister. Yeah, this guy is gonna be the first read in case you didn't know. His main job was a bar called Roost, but since they didn't open till 5 p.m., he would often pick up shifts at the clinic to fill the time. Evidently, he wasn't working at Roost tonight, since he was still here this late. Our clinic employed 2 nurses, 4 part-timers, and 1 doctor.
Oh, ありがとな。
Great, thanks a ton. Smiling, Taku looked over at Ray and raised a hand in acknowledgement. I don't know, like the clinics I go to, they don't have nurses there. That's interesting. And when they say part-timer, it's probably like receptionists, right?
全然いいのよ。気にしないで。
I'm gonna give him like a sassy voice.
No trouble at all. Like, don't even worry about it.
お疲れ。
Good work day. But as soon as Ray laid eyes on me, he stormed right over to me.
ちょっと。
Excuse you.
Hmm?
あんた今日も寝坊したでしょ。有村くんに仕事を押し付けて。
You totally overslept again, didn't you? Poor Ari-kun, Mura-kun had to pick up your slack. God.
少しだけだろ。
Just for a little. God. Get off my ass. Jesus. Sheesh.
開き直らないの。寝坊は寝坊よ。
Don't try to justify it, mister. You were late.
He put his hands on his hips and scolded me like he was my mom. But his smoke was bright yellow. And since it wasn't swaying, I could tell he wasn't really that angry. Aww. Born to a Japanese father and an English mother, he had a well-sculpted face. Okay. Everyone has same face syndrome. Because of this, he was widely popular with our patients, particularly women.
もうあんまり迷惑かけないようにしてよね。有村くん、とっても真面目に働いてくれてるんだから。
I love how he speaks. God, when you quit causing problems for everyone? Arimura-kun takes his job super seriously, just FYI.
そうだそうだ。もっと言ってやれ。
Yeah, you tell him, sister. Everyone in this clinic is fucking gay, bro. Taku leaned back against the reception counter and cracked open his can with a smirk. Believe it or not, he was pretty well liked too. Yeah, a lot of people like Dilf, so I guess. Hiding beneath that stubble and post-work fatigue was a manly, rough hand face. Plus, the patients all praised his warm bedside manner. He must be popular then. To them, this messy hair and stubble was rugged rather than lazy. Weird how this somehow never applied to me.
で、そういや有村くんは帰ったか？
Wait, where's Arimura-kun? Didn't he leave already?
とっくの昔に。
Yeah, a long time ago. Let's say, can I save? Oh, caring and kind. Known him for a long time. Ray helps out at the clinic pretty often. Mainly works at Roost. Loves sweets and death matches. I'm into that, sister. Always fussing over me. Bright yellow. Hates me. Dull blue.
そうか。今日はいつもより長く入ってくれて助かったよ、レイ。ありがとな。
Oh, well, thanks for staying longer than usual, Shift Ray. You were a big help. Let's see, can I save?
どういたしまして。お礼はスイーツでもいいのよ。
You're welcome, mister.
You can thank me by buying me dessert sometime. Flips hair. I don't see where I can
ファミレスのパフェでいいか？
How about a parfait at the diner?
オッケー。
Okie dokie.
As I watched their conversation from the sidelines, my gaze drifted to Taku. Oh shit.
疲れてるな。
ん？
You look tired. Hmm?
疲れてる。顔が。
Your face, you look tired.
おう。
Oh. Grimacing, he touched his cheek and sighed. Granted, he always looked tired, but lately it was more noticeable than ever. It's getting old, bro.
何？疲れてるの？寝不足？
What's wrong, mister? Not getting enough sleep?
それもあるが、気疲れだ。
That's part of it, but mostly I'm drained.
気疲れ
Mentally?
は
Yeah. He let out an even bigger sigh.
うちの患者さん、夜の仕事についてる人も多いだろ
You know how most of our patients work the night shift?
そうね。昼間はお年寄りや子連れの人もいるけど、深夜になると男女関係なく夜の仕事の人が増えるわね。
Mm-hmm. During the day, we get kids and older folk, but once it gets late, we start getting a lot of night workers.
ま、その中には事情があって働いてるって人も結構いてな。診察中に悩みを相談されることもあるわけだ。
Well, some of them have a lot of baggage, let's say. And sometimes they ask me for advice during their checkup. You're not a therapist, bro.
悩みって、ああ、メンタル面でってことか。
Advice? Oh, you mean like mental health stuff? Oh, wow.
そうだ。家庭の事情だったり、友人や知人には簡単に話せないような重い話だったりな。
Right, heavy stuff that they can't tell your friends, like family problems, that kind of thing.
心の方は専門外だから治療できんが、相談があった時はできる限り話を聞くようにはしてる。
Hey bro, why don't you recommend them to a therapist? Unless they don't have that in Japan. I don't know. I can't impose my North American beliefs. I'm not a therapist, but I can't treat mental illness. But if they want advice, I try my best to hear them out.
無下にするわけにもいかないし、それで患者さんの心が少しでも軽くなるならいいだろ
I can't just ignore them, you know. And if talking about them makes them feel better, then why not?
そうね。
Right.
で、悩み相談ってのは前からちょくちょくあったんだが、どうも最近そういう患者さんが多くてな。
See, I've been doing it here and there for a while now, but lately there's been a lot.
多い？増えたってこと？
What, like more than usual?
うん。少し前までは1週間に1人2人くらいだったんだが、明らかに増えてる。それに、
Yeah, before I get maybe 1 or 2 a week, but now there's a ton of them. And not only that, he seemed to remember something. He stopped short and looked away.
切羽詰まった患者さんが増えた気がするんだ。話をしているうちに泣き出したり、いきなり声を荒げたりとかな。
What the fuck? It feels like the stress has been getting to a lot of them. Some of them will start screaming or crying in the middle of the conversation.
たまに診察室から怒鳴り声が聞こえてくるけど、あれってそういうことだったんだ。
Aha! I was wondering what all that yelling was about in the exam room.
できることならメンタルケアもしてやりたいとは思うんだが、そうもいかないからな。
I'd like to offer mental health care if I can, but there's just not a lot I can do.
ただ、感情が高ぶってる状態の患者をないがしろにするわけにもいかんだろ
The thing is, when they're all worked up like that, I can't exactly tell them to get out, you know?
そうね。最近、診察時間がやけに長い患者さんがいるなぁとは思ってたけど。
Right, I did notice some of your appointments have been taking longer than usual lately.
どう対応したらいいものかってずっと考えてるんだが。
Yeah, and I kept trying to figure out what to do about it, but... Rubbing the back of his hand, Taku let out a third sigh of the night. But really, was it any wonder that more and more of his patients were starting to have mental health problems? Over the past decade, Japan's younger generation had been plunged into extreme poverty. A few years ago, you'd see people on TV yelling about the 2030 age demographic's inability to save money or find a stable career, but now it is even worse. This is too relatable. These days, you saw women curled up in their underwear on the sidewalk while men started fights and mugged strangers. Young teenagers were dressed in slutty clothes to work at the corners. Compared to 10 years ago, there were a lot more murder cases, and many of them were either unsolved or dropped. The cops were useless too. They couldn't keep up with the growing number of criminals. But, of course, under the Takasato Gumi's thumb, the Shinko Gumi's police force was basically just there for decoration. The gig economy had become a commonplace, so jobs were scarce and the cost of living was high and wages were at an all-time low. These things all helped drive people to rock bottom, where they had no choice but to keep living. Yeah. The nation of Japan was seeing povertization on a level that a few decades ago was never seen outside dystopian fiction. Shinko Gumi had a disproportionately large number of hospitals, possibly in correlation to the crime levels. Naturally, there were plenty of unlicensed or back-alley doctors to be found here. These days, hospitals probably had to serve as a battered women's shelters on top of everything else. Like Taku said, doctors had a sworn duty to help people, and people here needed to help, not just with their bodies, but with their minds too. Sad.
つまり心を病んでる奴が多いってことだろ。
So basically, you have a lot of nut jobs coming in, huh? Taku and Ray both turned to look at me.
その言い方、俺は好かんな。
Can't say I appreciate that term.
別に間違ってない。
I'm just telling it like it is. I downed my coffee, set the empty can on the floor, and rose to my feet.
どこ行くの？
Where are you going?
散歩。
For a walk.
ちょっと。
Are you kidding me? Hello? But I ignored Ray's frustrated retort, walked to the front door, and left the building. Pocket of my pants and pulled out my cigarettes. I'd forgotten to grab a coat, but I was too lazy to go back and get one, so I figured I'd be fine. As I walked down the dirty sidewalk, I put a cigarette between my lips and lit it. In Shinko Gumi, the nights were long. If anything, it had only just begun. Like usual, I stumbled around town on a whim, looking for a one-night stand. Not because I was especially lonely or saw another human's warmth or anything like that. I felt no love, no passion, no desire. All my emotions had rusted over. Just like me, but this dude's probably depressed. Sex was the only way I could feel anything at all. Well, not the only way. The other way was through violence, fistfights. But what I wanted was an all-out brawl enough to kill me. And I knew there were very few people in this world capable of that. Most people I fought had held back, even just subconsciously, afraid to hurt me beyond a certain threshold. Thus, there were no point in looking for someone special. Generally speaking, I felt very little in the way of standard human emotions. No idea when it started, but I probably wasn't born like this. Sometimes I got irritated when people nagged me too much, but for the most part, I held it in. Other people seemed to see me as an unfeeling monster. In the rare moments that I was overcome with powerful impulses, when I was raped or beaten, that's when I truly felt joy. And while many were too scared to enact violence directly, There are plenty in this town that love to hurt people on the inside. So yeah, I had a lot of hookups. If you asked me if I liked sex, I would say yes. I wasn't interested in learning about the person attached to the dick, nor did I feel like telling them about me. I just wanted them to use me like a fuck toy, then throw me away. That was a compromise I was willing to make. Slow damage. Noon. The next day. I didn't work at the clinic, so I slept in until noon. Yeah, me and this person have like the same sleep schedule. I woke lying on my back on the sofa. I sat up, lit a cigarette, and took a drag. In the end, I never did find a hookup last night. Instead, I picked a random bar, had some drinks, and went home. All in all, it was a pretty tame night. Considering the previous night where I drank until I blacked out. Because of that, I felt lackluster. I took my time enjoying my cigarette, gazing at the TV that had been left on all night. Then, suddenly, a news crime flashed up on screen.
Takasato Gumi later. Takasato Rijiri 81 dead of heart failure.
My eye was locked on the white text. The leader of the Takasato Gumi was dead. But then the surprise faded. For the record, I had been informed that this man was my biological father. Oh shit. My mother was his mistress. In other words, I was his illegitimate son. That said, I had next to no memory of being around him. Frankly, I could only vaguely remember what he looked like. So I didn't have much of an emotional response to the news of his passing. Just sort of, oh, he died. I looked away from the TV and leaned back against the sofa. Wait, if he's 81? Toa's like probably in his 20s? Oh wow, Toa is really like me. My dad had a huge age gap between my mom and he's dead. That's crazy. Me and Toa are like the same person, huh? Oh. Just then, I heard a muffled buzzing noise and realized the cell phone on the far edge of the sofa was ringing. I picked it up and looked at the screen. Sakaki was calling. I could see a series of notifications that indicated he'd been calling for a while. He probably wanted to talk about my father, and if so, I wasn't interested. I dropped the phone back onto the sofa without answering it. Cigarette dangling from my lips, I stared up at the ceiling. I had no real plans for today. Maybe I'd wander around downtown. With that thought, I took a long, deep drag. Exhaling smoke, I crushed my cigarette on the ashtray. Then I rose to my feet and pulled on my coat. Now then, where to? Get a pick! Yeah! Should I go somewhere? Pardon the interruption! Yes, we will now briefly explain the exploration segments. Please bear with us for just a few moments. No problem, sister. When an objective pops up on screen, you know it's time for exploration. Yeah, this time the objective is to go somewhere. During exploration, you're free to prowl the city of Shinko Gumi. You can go places, talk to people, and learn about the city. When you arrive at the correct destination, exploration will conclude and the story will progress. You can progress the story immediately if you so desire. Or you can explore a city first before you continue. I think I'll explore. You're free to play however you see fit. To check your objective, move the cursor to the right-hand edge of the screen. In this case, the objective is to go somewhere. So let's move this party somewhere else. Yes. Let's see. Talk. This is my studio. Okay, that was enough. Can I save, please? I don't want to end, I just want to know how to save. Oh shit. I guess I can never end. No problem. Third floor of the Mercy Clinic, aka the place where I sleep. It's as messy as a storage closet, because it practically is one. Shopping or cafe? Oh, let's see. Ooh. I never play visual novels on the computer. This is like my first time actually, so I don't really know the controls at all. The clinic? I'm not. Why the fuck would you go to work on your day off? That's like ass. A vast swath of high-rise condo buildings encircling District E. The majority of Shinko Gumi's residents live in one of these pencil towers. Shopping Street! The main street occupying the center district of E. Here you find convenience stores, drugstores, diners, and places to spend. Yeah, I wanna go shopping! Yes, sister! I have no business here. Might find something. Yeah, I wanna go shopping. Let's go, yes. This is the Mercy Clinic. Wait, I didn't go here though. Taco started up 7 years ago. For a small, privately run facility, it has a good reputation that draws in patients not only from the neighborhood, but the downtown area as well. The doors open a bit later than most at 10 a.m., but in exchange it stays open until 1 a.m., which is helpful for patients that work in the night shift. It's weird. I personally would just start it at 4 and end at 1 a.m. I don't really know why they would have like a long break. In general, Shinko Gumi has a lot of hospitals. Most of them are either single rooms or large-scale facilities. So in that sense, a standalone building like Mercy Clinic is apparently rather unusual. Just then, I sensed someone's gaze and looked over. I thought I saw something slip into the shadow of a building. Or was my mind playing tricks on me? Oh hey. If you encounter someone during exploration, try talking to them. Talking to them may give you inspiration. Let's try it out. I really like how artistically themed this game is. Hey. Oh, there's no voice. It's you. You're Toa, right? When you select talk, the hourglass and jagged line will appear. This is a simplified version of interrogation, wherein you'll respond with negative or positive answers. For a refresher on interrogation, check the interrogation section of How to Play. I don't know how to find that, bro. On the right-hand edge of the screen. You can see it says Euphoria Up. Unlike real interrogation segments, exploration chats show the results of negative and positive answers in advance. Euphoria Up means it'll raise the Euphoria gauge. I guess I'll be nice. The Euphoria Down means it will lower the Euphoria gauge. What should I do? Now see, what should I do? Text at the bottom of the screen. If you choose to respond accordingly, you'll gain new inspiration. Some targets don't care which way you respond. Gaining inspiration is never guaranteed, so feel free to explore every inch of the city. Now, let's try it out! Bro, I want to save. I just want to save, bro. I just want to save. Holy fuck, I just want to save. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Yeah, let's play around.
Positive.
I want to. Don't be an asshole to strangers, you know. So what if I am? You're Toa, right? And the reason I know is because he knows, right? He who? I'm going to surpass him. Or my name isn't Inada. There is no inspiration to be gained this time around. Maybe I should have been a dick. Some exploration segments offer it, while others don't. You'll be able to tell the difference based on the objective. Red text means it's a special segment where no inspiration is available. But blue text means inspiration is out there, just waiting to be found. You'll see blue text most often. Red text is less common. But because this is a tutorial, it counts as a special exploration. This concludes the exploration tutorial. Now you can go back to enjoying slow damage. That's it? That's it, sister. Fine. Go. I thought I clicked to go to the shopping district. Bye, sisters. Wow.
Daddies!
I like that sign. This is the main street of the center of District E. For the most part, residents of District E pass through here to do their shopping. With all the diners, convenience stores, discount stores, and drug stores packed in like sardines, it's easy to find what you need. The streets are busy, though not as packed as District D. Everywhere you look, there's people working or people getting wasted. Yes. The traffic light changed and the crowd started walking. But just then, I spied a familiar face out of the corner of my eye. It was Ray, carrying a paper bag in one hand.
Ara.
Hey, sister. I love his coat. He looks so adorable. Oh, hi, Toa. What are you doing here? His lips are.
Yo,
Just wandering, you.
On my way back from Tajima's.
Oh, what's up, Red? Wink.
She gave me a bunch of stuff, so I thought I'd share some with Taku.
We're basically just starting slow damage, you know, the usual. Again?
It was a thank you gift for helping her.
Yeah, let's talk.
ね
Oh, that reminds me. I left a croquette in the fridge for you. Did you eat it?
Oh, fuck. Yeah, let's eat it. Let's eat it. Let's eat it. A little.
え
For real?
Just a bite.
やった
Still, that's a big step for you. I added condensed milk when I was making them. It's supposed to improve the consistency.
Condensed milk? In croquettes?
It sounds crazy, but it works. You taste it yourself, right?
Well, yeah. Next time I think I might try rice croquettes.
Next time I think I might try rice croquette.
戻らなくっちゃ。
Anyway, I'm headed back to the clinic.
Alright.
Oh, I got some pickled veggies for us.
Nice, nice. See you later, sister. You have no business here. I want to check out the residential area, even though it says, I have no business here. This is District E's residential area. If you live in Shinko, Gumi, chances are high your apartment is in District E. District E is full of skyscrapers, all of them high-rise condo buildings. It's an attempt to make the most living space out of critically limited land area. The downtrot from all the skyscrapers creates strong winds in the area. Not to mention, the majority of these buildings aren't up to the code, so if we get hit with a major earthquake, they'll probably collapse. Oh my god, that's like one of my worst fears. But the residents of District E choose to live here anyway. Someone concerned with safety wouldn't dare live in Shinkogumi in the first place. Oh, no one's here. Bye! I didn't click on this, but let's see if something will happen. Okay, nothing. Okay, let's go home. That was... Let's see, can I really want to save. I guess I can. I returned to my apartment. When I left, my TV was on, but now the familiar static drown-out was gone. Instead, I could hear a faint rustling sound. A thief?
Oh, Toa.
Oh, hey, you're back? Yeah. Welcome home. I was just tidying up in here. It's my mom. If I put it off for too long, the whole place turns into a pigsty. Guess I have to say hi to him.
Nah.
Seeing as you're here, why don't you help me out a bit? Yeah, I'll help. Cause, like, he's cleaning up your room anyways. Don't be a bitch, bro. Sure thing. It's not often you actually do as you're told. Sometimes I feel like it.
Hey.
Alright then. Thanks in advance. No problem, bestie.
Yosh.
There, now it's a bit cleaner. Here's your reward for helping. It's your fucking room. He pulled a pack of green gum from his pocket. Mint flavor, apparently. Not from a patient, but since you still smoke, you probably need it more than I do, yeah?
別に
The taste of tobacco. Aw, don't be like that. Just take it. He pressed it into my hand, and I reluctantly accepted it. Of course, give it about a week before you turn this place into a mess again. If you could make it every 2 weeks instead, I'd appreciate it.
それじゃあな。
Anyway, I'm out of here. Alright.
Hmm?
Ooh. Tajima's. Guess I'll make a pit stop. An exploration? I suppose. Nothing else to do, so. On one corner of the residential neighborhood sat a little old shop for get on by time. It was a snack store called Tajima's, run for many years by a little old octogenarian lady. In most cases, the expanding casino industry forced evictions on older homes and stores. But Tajima's fought eviction every step of the way, and now is the last of its kind in the area. Yeah, it's realistic. Fortunately, Tajima's was popular with middle-aged folks looking for a nostalgic taste of their youth. Plus, it attracted younger people curious about traditional snacks. Every now and then, I'd stop by and grab some. I wasn't a big fan of junk food or anything, but for some reason, the shop felt like home. Walked up and stood at the door and peered inside. The cramped interior was packed to the gills with sweets and snacks of every kind. Hidden among them was a white-haired, stony-faced woman standing as still as a statue. Aww, she's adorable. Come on in. She sounded irritable. Reluctantly, I stepped inside. Oh. But though she may have looked angry, she was always like that. Hanging on the wall above the glitter was a painting with a layer of black over it. Don't tell me this is your art. Please don't tell me this is your art. Oh. I kept wondering about it every time I came by. It was the one thing that didn't feel homey like the rest of the store. Maybe the owner just likes spooky stuff. Are you buying or not? No, wait.
Are you buying or not?
She snapped at me as I stood there without browsing. Her smoke was a deep dark brown. Not once have I ever seen it waver. I grabbed some stuff at random and brought it to the counter.
たく、この町は日に日に変わっていってるよ。いつか本当に滅びてなくなっちまうんじゃないかとヒヤヒヤしてるんだよ、私は。
Good grief! With every passing day, this city keeps changing. I'm terrified that one day it'll all go to shit.
She muttered to herself as she pecked away on her antique cash register. The old woman was one of the few who had lived here since before the Shinko Gumi became a casino resort, and she knew what it used to be like. She would always blather on about regardless of whether anyone was listening, but some people found value in her stories of the old days.
昔はここまで汚らしい町じゃなかったのにね。
You were never this filthy before, I tell you.
それこそ純朴そうな小娘の面倒を見てやったりもしたのに。今は男も女もアバズレで溢れ返ってるよ。
Used to be you could let your daughters play outside, but now the streets are full of sluts and whores, men and women alike. I'm looking at you, Toa.
あんただってその一人なんだよ。分かってんのかい？
And you're one of them. You understand me?
Yeah. I nodded absently. Truth be told, I liked her. Me too. It felt like she was the only person still living in the old times while the whole world changed around her. Because of that, she was an outsider here.
毎日毎日誰が殺した殺されたで死体を見ても何とも思わなくなっちまってるんだ。狂ってるよ。
Day in and day out. I hear about all this death and murder. Now when I see a dead body, I don't even care. It's not right, I tell you.
ヤクザの言うこと聞くくらいなら、私はこの店を守って死ぬよ。
I'd sooner die protecting my store than lick the boots of the Yakuza scum.
240円だ。
That'd be 240 yen.
Oh, it's not that pricey. I pulled a 1,000 yen bill out of my pants pocket and handed it to her.
釣りは取っといて。
Keep the change. That's a big tip.
いいのかい？
You sure?
あ
Yeah.
毎度どうも。
Thanks for your business. Yeah.
She took the money without complaint. She handed me my items without a bag, and for the first time I stopped to look at what I bought. Then I stuffed it all into my coat pockets and headed for the door. As I stepped outside, however, I realized the old lady had followed me out.
また来とくれよ。
Bye again sometime, sweetheart. Choo.
She muttered under her breath with a scowl. I waved and then turned and set off down the street. Late that night, Taku, Ray, and I paid a visit to the local diner, hitting up Denny's or some shit. Taku had promised to buy Ray a parfait, and tonight was the time for him to pony up. That said, the three of us usually ended up at this diner anyways, since it was still open when the clinic closed. I was downtown at the time, so they invited me over the phone. When we sat down at our table, Taku ordered the Salisbury steak special. Ray got the steak fried rice and a parfait, and I got coffee. Bro, why would she order so big? While they ate their food, I slowly sipped my drink. This was pretty commonplace for me. And yet, every time it happened, like clockwork, Ray would tell me how it's
Not healthy.
and
It's going to kill you one of these days.
sure enough, I could hear him grumbling about something. But the moment they put his parfait down on the table, his whole face lit up. Oh, I love this scene.
もうここのストロベリーミルクパフェ本当に美味しい。
Oh my god, these strawberry cream parfaits are so good. He squeezed his eyes shut and squealed in delight.
毎度毎度そんなに喜んでもらえたら、作った人も作りがいがあるってもんだな。
I bet the guy who makes them appreciates how much you like him. Taku sipped his post-dinner coffee with a wry grin. He wasn't a big fan of sugary stuff, so he couldn't really relate.
毎度毎度喜ぶから、もっとたくさん美味しいスイーツ作ってって感じ。
Appreciate anything he wants to make because he's doing great. Ray stirred his parfait with a spoon and a dreamy smile on his face. This only lasted until I put a cigarette between my lips and started to light it.
ちょっと、まだ食べてるんですけど。
Excuse you, I'm still eating here.
うん。
Uh-huh.
うんじゃないわよ。
Don't you me, mister.
喫煙席だろ、ここ。
We're in the smoking section, remember?
マナーってものがあるでしょ。タクだってもうやめたんだし、あんたもいい加減やめなさいよね。
Yeah, but there's such thing as common decency. Taku already quit, so you should too.
吸ってた俺が言うのもなんだが、タバコは100害あって一理なしだぞ。
This may not mean much coming from me, but trust me, there ain't nothing good about smoking. I ignored their complaints, lit my cigarette, and took a drag. Instantly, Ray's smoke went from yellow to red, mingling with the cigarette smoke. Oh man,
本当にもう、とわは酒とタバコばっかり。あんなにいい絵を描くのに、実態なんてこんなものよね。
Swear to God, everything's cigarettes and alcohol with you. You're such a great artist, but you're so boring. Ray let out an exaggerated sigh. Sulking, he put his elbow on the table and his chin in his hand.
歴史上の有名な画家も変人が多いからな。ある中から異常な女好きまで様々だ。
He's right though. As an artist, I can agree. Look at me, I'm a fucking VTuber, bro. All the most famous artists were weirdos, you know. Alcoholics, womanizers, and all different stripes.
どこかしら変わってるから芸術面では突出してるってこともあるんだろう。
Yeah, agreed, sister. Maybe it's that weirdness that makes them so artistic. Yeah, probably.
なのかしらね。でも、そばにいたらすごい嫌よ。迷惑よ。今身をもって体感してるわ。
Like, from the artists I met, the ones that are very normal in personality, I feel like they make more like normal and boring art. So I kind of like crazy artists. They're like fun.
I guess so. But I'll tell you one thing. It doesn't make them fun to hang out with at all.
とわに関してはもう諦めろ。昔からこういうやつだ。
Well, you're wasting your time complaining about Toa. He's always been like this. My main thing I'm concerned about, does Toa eat meals at all? Like one a day? It was the harsh truth.
その割には可愛い趣味があるのよね。
And yet he has a secret cute side.
A devilish grin crept across on Ray's face.
趣味
Cute side.
部屋にずっと置いてあるウサギのぬいぐるみよ。興味ないとか言うくせに捨てないじゃない？実は好きなんでしょ。
I'm talking about that cute little bunny plushie you have in your room. You say you don't care about it, and yet you never throw it away. You like it, don't you?
いや
No. Maybe I should speak more monotone for Toa. I did have a bunny plushie in my apartment, but I wasn't particularly attached to it. I just randomly spotted it at a store one time and wanted to buy it, so I did. That's what they all say, sister. I hadn't really touched it or thought about it since, and now that it sat covered collecting dust in the corner.
夜はこっそり抱いて寝てたりするんじゃないのか？
You sure you don't snuggle it with it at bedtime?
やだ、とあったらそんな可愛いところあるの？
Oh my god, are you seriously like super adorable?
As Taku teased me, Ray joined in. Ignoring their idiocy, I turned away and looked and took another slow drag of my cigarette.
そういえば今日はデスマッチには行かないのか？
That reminds me, aren't you going to the deathmatch arena or area
今日
tonight?
はお休み。チームメンバーの都合もあるからね。
No, not tonight. One of my teammates had to cancel.
そうか。
Oh, I see. Actually, maybe I should make Taku-san more gruff. Like, oh, I see. The deathmatch area was a special section of town located in District A at the center of Shinko Gumi. It was once ground zero for a lot of Takasato Gumi infighting. As a result, the whole district was torn apart and residents were barred entry. Naturally, this attracted a lot of seedy types. Eventually, it became known as a place for fistfights, and people started using it as a battlefield to test their strength. Nowadays, anyone who wanted to fight could meet up in District A to take part in what was now referred to as Deathmatch. Of course. The Takasato Gumi had noticed this, but they chose not to interfere. Here in Shinko Gumi, plenty of people were frustrated with the tyranny of the Takasato Gumi, not to mention the struggles of living in poverty. So the Takasato Gumi let them have their death matches in District A if it meant that they could vent their stress. Their one restriction: they would hassle anyone who tried to live there or start a business there. Other than that, the Takasato Gumi didn't get involved. Believe it or not, taking part in death matches was something of a hobby for Ray. He always went with his buddies from Roost. Supposedly, they were actually among the top contenders, but death matches weren't my thing, so I didn't know if that was true. Judging from their looks, you wouldn't think they were seasoned fighters. Except for the rare occasions they turned up sporting cuts and bruises.
楽しんでやってるなら構わんが、あまり羽目を外すなよ。
I don't mind if you're just having a little fun, but don't get too crazy.
最近じゃデスマッチも昔より悪質な奴らがうろついてるらしいじゃないか。
Lately, I've heard there's been some real nasty types lurking around.
まあね。でも、そういう奴らもまとめて吹っ飛ばすのが楽しいのよ。スカッとするわ。
Yeah, I know, but like, it's super fun to kick their asses. Nothing feels better.
そうか。ま、しばらくは高里組も荒れるだろうから、お前たちも気をつけろよ。
Alright then. I imagine the Takasugi Gumi's gonna have a rough time ahead of them, so both of you just keep your heads down.
上の連中はともかく、チンピラどもがトラブルを起こすかもしれん。
Don't know if the low-ranking goons will start any shit, but the bigger ones almost certainly will.
そうなったら、拳で鎮圧しちゃうから大丈夫。
That's okay. They can just try, but I'll shut them up with my fists.
To prove his point, Ray flashed up his fists. Taco grinned wearily.
拳を振るうのはデスマッチだけにしとけよ。
Save the punching for your death matches, alright?
もちろん。パフェおごってもらったし、言うこと聞きます。美味しかった。ありがとう。大満足。
Oh, I will. You bought me a parfait, so I'll do whatever you tell me. TBH. It was super good. Thanks a bunch, sister.
In a blink, Ray had polished off his parfait. He set down his spoon with a satisfied smile.
それじゃ、明日もあるし帰るか。
Welp, we got work tomorrow, so let's call it a night.
そうね。また明日。とは、ちゃんと寝なさいよ。このまま飲みに行ったり、男を引っ掛けに行ったりしちゃダメだからね。
Right, see you tomorrow. And Toa, you better get some actual sleep. No bar hopping, no hookups. You hear me, mister?
Yeah. With a non-committal response, I crushed my cigarette in the ashtray. Was to his feet, grabbed the check, and took it over to the register.
ごちそうさま。
Thank you for treating me, Daddy.
Right as Ray got up, he suddenly turned back to me.
あら、そういえばあんたもおごりなの？
Wait a minute, he's paying for yours too?
コーヒーしか飲んでないからな。
Well, I only ordered a coffee. Whenever we went out to eat, Taku would always pay for my order, probably because it was only one extra drink. Ray donned a melodramatic frown and glanced at me out of the corner of his eye.
なんかあんたって周りから妙に甘やかされてるわよね。ふらふらしてて危なっかしいからかしら。野良猫みたいな感じ？
Everyone always waits on your hand and foot, don't they? Are they scared you'll wander away like a stray cat?
さあな。
Beats me. I shrugged, and together we headed for the exit. So damage. The next day. I wasn't scheduled to work at the clinic, so I woke up around noon. Bro, it's 1 p.m. That's when I wake up too, so not judging. Taku came to my room on his break and invited me out to lunch. Ray wasn't scheduled to work until later in the afternoon, so he wasn't around yet. I got dressed and then accompanied Taku out of the building. I'm just gonna give all the old farts a nasally voice.
Thank you for waiting.
The manager set down 2 mugs of coffee, followed by 2 plates of their famous honey toast. Once everything we ordered was on the table, he bowed quietly and headed back into the kitchen. This is a really nice cafe, wow. It looks like it was done in 3D, but yeah, it looks 3D and rendered. In these parts, Yanagawa Cafe was a popular lunch spot. The place first opened over 20 years ago, and the building's retro, read outdated, style offered its own special charm. It was about a 5-minute walk from Murase Clinic, so I often found myself here. It all started when I was walking by one day and saw the dimly lit interior through the windows. It caught my interest, so I went in, and the rest is history. Yeah, the interior is quite artistic. Quite elegant. The cafe always played jazz music over the speakers, and the customers were relaxed. Their prices were relatively high, but seeing as they were still in business, they clearly had enough regular customers to keep them afloat. Oh my god, is Toa actually gonna eat? The cafe's biggest selling points? Freshly ground coffee and honey toast. Even Taku liked their toast. He was notoriously uninterested in sweets. The shit is so good.
さ、食べるか。いただきます。
Let's eat. Rub-a-dub-dub. Thanks for the grub. Ba-ba-ba. Bon appetit. He pressed his hands together to say grace and then picked up his knife and fork and started cutting up his toast. I crushed my lit cigarette in an ashtray and took a sip of my coffee. Bro, are you gonna eat?
ここのは本当にうまいよな。
I can never get enough of this stuff.
甘いの苦手でも、この店のは平気なんだろ。
That's saying something coming from a guy who never eats sweets.
なあ、この蜂蜜の自然な甘さとパンの焼き加減が、ガキの頃によく食べたパンケーキに似ててな。
Yeah, maybe it's the natural sweetness of the honey mixed with the texture of the toast. Reminds me of the pancakes I'd eaten as a kid.
ってお前こそ普段はほとんど食べないくせにここのハニートーストは食べるよな。
Look, they've even got you eating it, and you hardly eat anything. Oh my god, Toa's eating food! Let's... Yeah.
なんとなく。
Yeah, I don't know why, I just kinda eat it.
なんだそりゃ。
Are you kidding me? Laughing, Taku set a forkful of toast into his mouth. In a blink, he had somehow already eaten half of the damn thing. Only then did I finally pick up my own knife and fork and start eating.
でさ、もうすっごいやつがいたらしくてさ。
Oh, he's an old-looking host. What sort of voice should... Maybe another Ray one. So anyway, I guess there was this crazy dude there.
なんだよ、すっごいって。何がすごいんだよ。
I don't have many voices.
What do you mean crazy? What kind of crazy?
As we were busy eating, the conversation from the table next to us carried over, filling the silence.
すごいっつったらすごいんだよ。強いんだって。すごい強かったらしいんだよ。
I mean crazy, like crazy strong. Everybody said he was ridiculously OP.
そりゃ、高里組って、デスマッチの参加者で強いやつを引っ張ってきてるんでしょ？強くて当然だろう。
I mean, Takasato Gumi's been scouting out all the strongest Deathmatch fighters, right? So of course he's strong.
For a fraction of a second, Taku fell still.
いや、もっとだよ。もっと強えの。
No, I mean like really strong.
もっと？
How strong is really strong?
真顔で何人も殴って沈めてくくらいの、そういうマジでヤバいやつだったらしくて、どうも組を裏切ったらしいんだよ。
I'm talking poker face, one punch KO kind of strong. For real, you do not want to fuck with this guy. They say he went rogue against the whole gang, sister.
マジで？
For real?
そう。ね、
Yeah, man.
兄貴を
He killed
殺して
his
逃げたって。
Aniki and got out of there.
兄貴？
Aniki desu.
兄ちゃんってこと？
What?
Like his older brother?
ちげえよ。あれだよ、ほら、杯がうんたらかんたらって、そういう兄貴。
No, stupid. You know how there's these Yakuza types have a hierarchy? Your Aniki's like you're a bossy boy.
なあ、そういう兄貴。でもさ、それってすごい不義理ってやつじゃね？やばいんじゃねえの？
Oh, that's kind of anarchy. Wait, but isn't that like dishonorable or whatever? Like deep shit?
やばいよ。だから組のやつらに制裁されて、もうこの世にいないって話だけどな。
The deepest shit, man. That's why the gang had him punished. Made him go poof.
制裁。おっかねえ。高里組なら人の一人や二人くらい簡単に消せるだろうしな。
That's one hell of a punishment. Alright, I bet that Takasato Gumi could disappear a couple guys, no problem.
Taku finished eating his honey toast in silence, but his expression looked stiff. Probably due to the subject matter. In this town, you couldn't walk 2 steps without hearing someone gossip about Takasato Gumi. Some of it was true, a lot of it wasn't. But like a game of telephone, a lot of details got lost along the way, so only a small fraction knew the facts. The guys next to us were just recounting stuff they'd heard from elsewhere. Almost every rumor was tarnished with embellishments born of speculation or assumption. This one was no different. It wasn't easy to discover the unvarnished truth buried beneath. For example, I would never know the real Taku, and he wouldn't know the real me. Just because we'd known each other for years didn't mean we understood everything about each other. That's true. Very true. And the subject changed to something else, and then a few minutes later, 2 guys left to pay their bill. Once they were gone, Taku finally broke his bitter silence.
大人気だな、高里組は。
Golly gee, those Yakuza sure are popular, aren't they? I ate my cold toast without responding. As it happened, I knew the guy they were gossiping about. A lot about him, in fact. Believe it or not, that fight happened while I was still in the gang. She. But I didn't want to remember him, so I actively avoided thinking about his name or his face.
他に話したくなるような楽しいことがないんだろ。
They probably just don't have anything better to talk about. I shrugged and Taku nodded slightly, still grimacing.
そうかもな。
I guess so. Meanwhile, unpleasant memories rose to mind. I first joined the Takusato Gumi back when my mother died. When I was in middle school, she died in an accident. Then a yakuza named Sakaki came and told me she was his gang leader's mistress. There I learned that his name was Takasato Ryujiro, and he was my father. As a kid, I only knew Sakaki as a good friend of my mother's. I never knew he was in a gang. After her death, he tried his best to look out for me. Then one thing led to another, and I joined the Takasato Gumi. No real reason. He invited me to join, so I figured I would. To him, my mother was a dear friend, and he would always reminisce about her. Because of that, he didn't feel like some yakuza thug. He felt like family. As for my actual family, I couldn't remember much of them or anything that happened prior to my mother's death. I vaguely recalled that I had a little sister, but I couldn't remember what she looked like. At the time of my mother's accident, I was injured and sent to the hospital. Maybe that had something to do with it. I stroked the eye patch on my right eye. There was no point in looking back. It was all in the past. Even without my childhood memories, I was still right here, living and breathing. I looked down at the table. Taku had stabbed his fork into my cold, half-eaten honey toast. Bro, that's mine, what the fuck? Then, without batting an eye, he dragged it over to his own plate.
食べるのか?
You're gonna eat that?
お前どうせ残すだろ。
You don't want it, right? You made it sound like he was entitled to eat my leftovers. He had a point, though. I wasn't planning to eat the rest, but still. At least Toa ate food. I'm proud of him. I laid my knife and fork to rest. Then I lit a cigarette, took the longest possible drag, and blew it back at him.
おい、やめろ。せっかく禁煙成功したってのに。
Hey, stop that! I only managed to kick the habit. Just managed to kick the habit, you know? Yeah, that's really rude. Grimacing, Taku waved a hand in front of his face.
本当に成功したかどうか試してるんだよ。
Well then, I'm testing to make sure you're still not addicted.
今やるな、今。食事中だぞ。
Save her for later. I'm eating. I fixed him with an impish grin. Scowling, he went back to the rest of my honey toast. As he wolfed down a few more bites, I smirked at him.
なんだ?
What?
よく食うなと思って。
You've got a hearty appetite, that's all.
お前が小食すぎるんだよ。
And you don't have much of an appetite at all. He wiped his mouth roughly with a napkin and rose from the table.
ほら、行くぞ。
Come on, let's go. He grabbed the check and headed over to the register to pay. I crushed my cigarette in the ashtray, then followed after him. After we left the cafe, I parted ways with Taku and wandered around town for a while. Then, once the sun set, I headed to the park. The place was deserted on a winter night, and the white glow of the street lamps made it look even more desolate. I sat down on the chilly metal bench and lit another cigarette. I wasn't ready to go home yet, so I was trying to kill time. As I watched the pale smoke float up in the dark sky, I heard a commotion in the distance. Several pairs of footsteps were approaching, and when they passed under a street lamp, I recognized them instantly.
Hey,
ほら
sisters.
やっぱりトワだ
I told you it was Towa.
おお、ほんとだ。
Whoa, you were right.
トワさん
Towa-san.
Kotaro, Mayu, and Eiji were three guys I knew very well. They walked right over to
お
me.
前、よく見えるよな。真っ暗なのにあんな遠くから。
You've got good eyesight considering the distance and how dark it is out here.
目めっちゃいいの俺超くっきりはっきり見えるよ
Yeah, I have eyes like a hawk. I can see everything very clearly.
アニメばっか見てるのに、謎だよその視力。
Given how much anime you watch, it just doesn't add up.
むしろアニメで鍛えられてるのよ
No, no, no. Anime trains my eyes.
つーかとは、何やったんだこんなとこで。
Anyway, Toa, what are you up to out here? Tanned, muscular Kotaro bent over to get a good look at my face. The blondie has a cool outfit. Also, the guy that looks like Archer in Fate's Stay Night. You could say he had a wild side, or a short temper, depending on how you looked at it.
ぼんやりしちゃってよからぬ妄想でもしてた
Were you staring into space, thinking dirty thoughts? Yeah!
Mayu, and the leanest of the three, and he dressed like he found his clothes in the dumpster. Hey, I like his outfit. Shut the fuck up. He's wearing overalls. It's just one overall. It's no biggie, no biggie.
景気づけに一発爆弾でもどうですか目覚めますよ
Why don't we set off a bomb or two for fun? I'll wake you up.
The guy in the beanie was Eiji. He was an expert at information gathering and bond assembly. Using the power of social media, he had a vast information network that he used to collect all kinds of intel. Oh my god, he's a tweeter. I had slept with Kotaro and Mayu a couple times out of boredom, but never with Eiji. He told me he wasn't really into sex stuff. He's ace. Kotaro's smoke was red, Mayu's was fuchsia. That's word sort of pink. Eiji's was a blue-green color. Just like turquoise, bro.
別に一服してただけ
Yeah, I was just having a smoke.
暇ってことがなら、デスマッチエリアに行かねえか
So you're bored, huh? Wanna come with us to Deathmatch area? Uh-huh. With a grin, Kotaro straightened up and jerked his chin in the direction of the District A.
面倒だからパス
Too lazy, pass.
言うと思ったとは絶対言うと思ったよ
I knew you would say that. I knew 100%.
暇ならいいだろう。付き合えよ。元兄弟のよしみでよ。
Not like you have anything better to do, right? Just humble your former blood brothers and come with us. Come on.
お前と杯を交わした覚えはないな
Blood brothers? I never performed any sake ritual with you. Kotaro, Mayu, and Eiji were all former guns for hire that got recruited to the Takasato Gumi. Kotaro and Mayu were scouted via death matches after they proved their fighting skills. As for Eiji, supposedly he got invited to join after he hacked the social media accounts and websites for one of the Takasato Gumi's businesses. Of course, they were by no means the only people recruited this way. In fact, I've heard of people taking part in deathmatches specifically to try to get in with the gang.
杯って言えばよ。とは、親父の葬式に来なかっただろ。
Speaking of rituals, Towa, you didn't show up to your old man's funeral. Kotaro smoke.
行くわけない。
Like hell I would.
今日の昼に葬式があって、昨日は通夜だったんだよ。
The funeral was this afternoon, and there was a midnight vigil last night.
Cool.
全然興味なしって感じですね。
You really don't care, do you?
ああ。
I sincerely didn't. What did it matter to me if some total stranger kicked the bucket?
ま、いや。それよりデスマッチエリアだ。行こうぜ。
Whatever. Now, let's get to the deathmatch area. Come on.
行ってみたら意外と楽しいかもよ。
You might like it if you give it a try.
ないな。
No chance.
もういっそのこと全部爆弾で吹き飛ばすっていうのはどうです？そしたら一瞬でみんな楽しくなりますよ。
Then what if we set off a bunch of bombs and blew the whole place sky high? That'll be really fun for a second or two.
何がだバカ。
Until we die, dumbass. Kotaro snored and flicked Eiji's forehead.
ごたくはいいから行こうぜとは。ほら、立てよ。
Quit your bitching and let's go already. Towa, come on. On your feet. Come on, get up, get up. Come on. He grabbed my arm and hauled me up against my will. Once he had his mind set on something, it was impossible to get him to change it. He kept a firm hold on me as we walked, like he was worried I was gonna bolt.
俺らは上からデスマッチに参加するなって言われてっからよ。なんもできねえ。
The higher-ups told us to stay out of matches, so we can't do a damn thing.
いや、お前は好きなだけ参加できるじゃねえか。羨ましいな、おい。元参加者として体がうずくぜ。
But you can fight to your little heart's content. Man, I envy you. I'm just aching to get back into it.
借金の取り立てで普段から好きなだけボコボコ殴ってるだろ。
You still get to beat people up when you're out debt collecting, right?
それはお仕事だし、返さないアホが悪いね。
Well, that's our job. It's their fault for not paying the money.
でもいつも楽しそうに追いかけ回してるじゃないですか、お二人とも。僕も怖くって。
You say that, but you two sure love to chase them up and down the street. Me, I'm way too scared.
嘘つけ。借金野郎の弱みやら個人情報やらかき集めるのお前の仕事だろうが。
Liar, you don't gotta chase anybody because your job is digging up dirt on them for the blackmail, dumbass.
はい、それはもちろん。新興味の情報なら任せてください。あと爆弾も。
Yes, of course. Here in Shinko Gumi, I'm a master of intel and bombs.
Eiji donned a big cheesy smile and Kotaro scoffed. Cute. Ooh, that's a cool background. Here in Shinko Gumi, as the poverty gap widened, many were burned with large depths. Yeah, this looks 3D, but the lighting is beautiful. Any debitor unable to make payments was mercilessly hounded by the Takasato goons. And if that debt reached a certain size, the debitor would get a chip known as the web tag implanted in them. Oh, that's fucked up. Web tag debitors were then tracked via surveillance towers erected all over Shinko Gumi. Oh, that's really fucked up. They were forbidden to set foot outside the city until their debt was repaid. If they tried to leave, the Takasato Gumi would send pursuers to hunt them down and kill them. No questions asked. You might wonder how the gang got their money back if the debtor was dead, but corpses had plenty of monetary value. And speaking of that, I just want to mention the story my mother told me today. She was like her coworker went to Mexico, and she had like a one-night stand with one of the people that worked at the resort. And when she came back, her like crotch was itchy, and apparently she got maggots. So the person she was sleeping with was like a necrophiliac, and they found 2 dead bodies in his apartment. So yeah, you can do a lot of things with dead bodies. I think that guy murdered the bodies too. Crazy shit, huh? I heard you can only get maggots from like fucking dead bodies. That's really fucked up.
ねえ、行くなら早く行こう。帰って録画しといたアニメ見たいんだよ。
Come on. If we're going, then let's just go. I want to get home and watch my anime that I recorded.
True. Mayu was already looking away as he lost interest in the conversation.
うるせえな、このアニメオタク。
Will you shut up, you damn anime otaku?
ていうか、あのスズメ、ポップコーン頬張りすぎね。欲張りすぎだよ。破裂しそう。
Anyways, don't you think that sparrows had too much popcorn? So greedy. Looks like it's gonna pop.
あ？どこだよ。
Where? I don't see it. But I guess nobody
お
with
前
a
の異常
regular
な視力で
has
見えるもんは普通の人間には見えねえんだよ。
Shit, should let him finish.
みんなも俺みたいにアニメ見ればいいのよ。アニメ見ようよ。
What? Maybe you should all watch anime like me. Let's watch anime!
Be for real.
見ねえよ。
No thanks.
か。
Trapped in Kotaro's tight grip and stuck in the middle of their inane banter, I left the park behind. These guys remind me of my ex-coworkers. District A, also known as the Deathmatch area, was a place forbidden to the average citizen. Not that they'd want to visit, because no normal people ever came around. Nearly all the shops had closed their doors for Gumi. The deeper you traveled into the district, the rougher and dirtier the city became. The place was busiest at night, by some unspoken rule. That was when everybody showed up. As the 4 of us walked to see the Heart District A, the sounds of scuffling and jeering grew louder.
おお、今日も派手にやってんな。
Ooh boy, they're really going at it tonight. Otara grinned. Here, unlike anywhere else, the air smelled of dust and copper. And unlike anywhere else, everyone's smoke was full of chaotic energy. The countless colors shifted and blurred together like an aurora of rejected crayons.
平和平和。この間の見せしめが効いたね。
Nice and peaceful. I think they took the hint after last time.
見せしめ？ああ、銃ぶっ放しまくってたやつか。まあ、吊るしといたからな。
Oh, you mean the guy who was going around firing his gun? Yeah, they strung him up good.
銃は使用禁止になったのか？
Our gun's bad, man. Eiji shook his head in response to my question.
いえ、使用禁止という明確なルールは作ってません。相変わらず暗黙の了解状態ですよ。
No, there's no explicit rule on either. It's just all unspoken, as usual.
そのせいか負けたことが悔しくてどうしても勝ちたい復讐したいって新参者が銃を持ち込むことも増えてきてるんですけどね。
But there has been a lot sore losers lately who bring them in anyway try to get their revenge.
Technically, deathmatch rules permit the use of weapons. However, weapons gave the armed fighters a huge advantage over the unarmed, so there was an implicit agreement amongst the participants not to bring them. Nevertheless, as AG said, some came armed regardless. These types were seen as cowards, and they were sometimes lynched as a warning to others. Holy shit.
この間吊るしたやつはリンチを止めに入った俺らにも銃を向けてきたからよ。そりゃぶん殴るよな。
Hell, we tried to save the poor bastard, but then he turned around, the damn gun on us. He was asking him to get the shit kicked out of him.
そうじゃなくても銃や武器が絡むと試合じゃなくて戦争が始まっちまう。
And even if he wasn't, like, you bring weapons here, and you're gonna start more than fights.
そういうアホを見つけたらボコって持ち込んだ武器と一緒に吊るしとくとね、それなりの効果があるんだよね。
So, when you find one of those shitheads, you kick their ass, take their piece, and string them up. It works like a charm.
もしデスマッチが戦争になったらその矛先は必ず高里組に向きます。それじゃ新興味がめちゃくちゃになっちゃいますから。
Before it broke out over a deathmatch, people would start blaming Takasumi, Takasato Gumi. Shinko Gumi, as we know it, would be turned upside down.
どんなに混沌としているように見えてもバランスは大事ですからね。
And no matter how chaotic a scenario may seem, there's a delicate balance that has to be upheld.
みんなが平和に暮らすためってとこか。
Keeping the peace, in other words. As I listened, I thought to myself, what does peace even look like here in Shinko Gumi? As you fell into the depths of hell, you wouldn't be climbing back out again. No, you'd have to make your peace down here. And our little rock-bond society played by its own rules. I was merely a cog in the machine. But believe it or not, I kinda liked it down here. Nothing worth caring about, nothing that could tie me down. In that sense, yeah, maybe it was peaceful. A nearby ring of onlookers started to cheer. Now I looked over. A rainbow of smoke blurred together, flailing wildly. But I watched it all with cold indifference. Slow damage. After I left the deathmatch area, I was sitting in some random bar getting drunk when my phone buzzed. There was a new message in the group chat between me, Ray, and Taku. Oh, that's cute. I'll call about Taku. I'll call about a critical patient.
Right, what do you think, Toa?
Depends if I feel like it.
I knew you'd say that, lol. They do takeout, so one of these days I'll pick up some so we can try it.
Sounds good.
It will be, promise.
Got a call about a critical patient. Come over ASAP. As it happened, I was thinking of going home anyway. Cigarette between my lips. I paid my tab and walked out. A few minutes after I arrived back at the clinic, Ray showed up. The patient was gravely injured, but this was no ordinary patient. A group of men, possibly the guy's buddies, carried him through the back entrance. His shirt was stained red with blood. All of them were wearing flashy clothes with lots of accessories. These weren't innocent civilians, these were Yakuza. Most of the many medical facilities in Shinko Gumi claim to refuse service to gang members. In reality, a lot of them accepted those same patients behind closed doors. And this clinic was one of them. We were so often visited by Yakuza, you'd think Taka was one of them. Word on the street was that he had earned the Takusato Gumi's trust. Sometimes he would suddenly close the clinic or change office hours just to accommodate these special patients. Out of respect for his civilian patients, he made the gang bring their wounded through the back, but it was an open secret at this point. This didn't scare off any of his regular patients. However, doctors as good as Taku were hard to find. Besides, the residents of Shinko Gumi accepted that these things came off the territory of living here.
服を脱がせますね。
I need to undress him. Yeah.
With permission, Ray began to remove the patient's shirt as he lay on the exam table. The man was sweating bullets, gritting his teeth to endure the pain. Stripping him revealed a stab wound in the side, covered in blood.
出血がひどいが、傷はそれほど深くなさそうだ。
He's bleeding a lot, but the wound itself doesn't seem that deep. Frowning, Taku examined the cut, then started patching him up. Ray and I assisted him as needed, following orders as he gave them.
よし。
There. After he finished administering first aid, Taku let out a long sigh. The patient had regained a lot of color in his complexion compared to when he first arrived, and he seemed calmer now. Ooh, more people. Sorry. I know you're bleeding out and all, but... Smoke color, not much about them.
Loves anime! Yeah!
Spirituous. Can't find none or everybody likes his coffee and honey toast. Deep dark, deep brown. Just some random dude, just a random guy. Interesting.
Nothing.
「痛みはどうですか？もし辛いようなら休んでいった方が。
How bad does it hurt? If you need to, you can stay a while to rest.
いや、いい。
Nah, that's alright. Grunting, the man tried to push himself into a sitting position. Taku held out a hand to stop him.
急に動かない方がいいですよ。
Shouldn't be moving around right now.
手当てが終わったら戻ってこいって上に言われてるんでね。
Higher ups told me to get back ASAP. Ignoring Taku's request, the man sat himself up regardless. Then, clutching his bandaged side, he slowly hopped down off the exam table.
世話になった。すまねえ。
Thanks for all the help. Taku didn't bother to trying to stop him. He knew precisely what kind of world this man lived in. The man snatched up his neatly folded shirt and started walking, pressing his hand against the wall for support. He left, accompanied by his associates.
見送ってくるわ。
I'll walk them to the door.
They hurried after them. They would be leaving through the back, the same way they came in. The man's medical expenses would then be billed to the Takasato Gumi directly. As Taku and I tidied up the medical equipment, we came back to the exam room and let out a giant sigh.
ほんと嫌になっちゃう。
God, I can't stand it.
仕方がない。無理に引き止めることもできないからな。
Nothing we can do about it. Can't force him to stay, you know?
もちろん分かってはいるんだけどね。あんな状態で返すのって本人の意思だから仕方がないんだけど。
I mean, like, I get that. I just hate to let them leave when they're just such a bad state. But they're grown adults, so I get is that it's their call.
患者が望まないのであれば、俺たちができることは何もない。
You can't make them do anything they don't want to.
うん、そうなのよね。
Yeah, I know that.
Ray nodded to himself sadly, his eyes on the floor. This sort of thing didn't happen every single day, but it was still fairly frequent. Judging from his stab wound, the patient probably got embroiled in some sort of fight. But Yakuza weren't the only ones who had to worry about physical danger. Everywhere you looked, this city was dripping with death and violence. The product of a pent-up rage that no one knew how to allay. By this point, the line between Yakuza and civilian had blurred beyond recognition.
あとはもう大丈夫かしら。
I'll leave the rest to you, okay?
ああ、来てくれて助かったよ。急に呼び出してすまなかったな。
Yeah, thanks for coming. Sorry I had to spring it up on you nowhere.
いいのよ、気にしないで。
Oh, it's no trouble, honey. Don't worry.
あと、明日の炊き出し、よろしくな。
Oh yeah, and don't forget about the soup kitchen tomorrow.
はーい。
I won't.
炊き出し？
Soup kitchen? The usual phrase gave me a pause, but Taku rolled his eyes.
先週から言ってただろう。忘れたのか？路上生活者や仕事が見つからない人たちを支援するボランティアのイベントだよ。
I've been telling you since last week. Did you honestly forget? They're doing a volunteer event to help the homeless and unemployed. Come to think of it, I vaguely remember that conversation. Stuff I didn't care about generally wasn't a priority to me.
よろしく頼むな。あとは俺がやるから帰っていいぞ。
So yeah, I'm gonna need your help tomorrow. I'll take care of all this, so you two get some sleep. As prompting, Ray and I left the room.
あ、とは。
Toa?
Right as I was about to head up to my apartment, Ray stopped me.
最近絵の方はどうなの？誰かいいモデルは見つかった？
Is your art coming along? Found any good models?
いや、今のところは。
Not yet. I shook my head. Ray was referring to my article on the Fourth Face, Ruth's company blog recruiting potential art models. Outside of being an all-around degenerate, art was my sole hobby, specifically oil painting. Oh my god, please wear gloves, because like oil paint, like getting like absorbed into your skin is like a carcinogen, bro. He probably doesn't give a shit though about his life, but it sucks. Ray liked my work a lot. When I showed it his boss at Roost, the guy decided he wanted to display all my new pieces in his establishment. That said, I couldn't paint a thing without a model. Not just any model, one who met my specific requirements. The manager of Roost liked to appraise and collect paintings as a hobby, and he wrote about all sorts of artists on the company blog, both professional and amateur. He also invited artists to send in photos of their submissions, which he would post on the site. That's cute. If he really liked the piece, he would display it at the bar. Periodically, articles would go up seeking models for my work. My artist Alice was Euphoria. chosen for me by Ray. I didn't care too much, but apparently Euphoria had a unique style that attracted a considerable cult following. So whenever my model request went up, I'd always get a handful of responses. I wish I had a cult following. It was more of a steady trickle than a torrent, so I only checked my inbox whenever I felt like it. It didn't matter how interested the model was, if I wasn't interested in them, I couldn't paint them. And lately, I wasn't interested in any of the people who emailed me.
早く新作書いてよね。一ファンとして楽しみにしてるんだから。それじゃ、おやすみ。
Hurry up and paint something new, would you? Your fans are literally dying and I'm one of them. Anyway, good night.
Never had someone say that to me. With a playful wink, he strode off into the staff room, humming a jaunty tune as he went. As for me, I took the elevator to the 3rd floor and went into my apartment. Then I switched on the TV, flopped onto the sofa, and grabbed my half-finished bottle of booze off the floor. After the lukewarm alcohol flowed down my throat, I grabbed a pack of cigarettes on the coffee table and lit them. Gazing up at the faint illumination of the flickering TV on the ceiling, I slowly exhaled the smoke. According to the clock on the wall, it was nearly 3 a.m. I still wasn't sleepy, so I took another drag of my cigarette. I contemplated popping some sleeping pills. Slow damage. The next day, Taco shook me awake and dragged me out to help with the volunteer soup kitchen event. But even then, he still couldn't compete with the dozens upon dozens of people who had come to avail themselves out of charity. Some of the volunteers looked like gangsters or host club workers. I showed up out of sheer boredom. Some were generally trying to do some good, while others were just trying to improve their public image. Then Ray turned up, and the soup kitchen began. We ladled pork and veggie soup from a big pot into little styrofoam containers and handed them to each person in line.
あら、村瀬先生、こんにちは。
Oh, if it isn't Dr. Murase, hello there.
どうも、こんにちは。
Nice to see you again.
相変わらず素敵ね。
You're looking quite handsome today.
いえ、とんでもないです。
Oh, you're too kind. As the locals passed through the line, they all said hello to Taku.
村瀬先生、この間はありがとう。
Thank you for taking a look at me, Dr. Mercy.
池山さん、その後、お孫さんの様子はいかがですか？
Oh, Ikeyama-san, how did it go with your grandson?
薬を飲んで寝たらすっかり良くなったみたいでな。先生のおかげだよ。
I gave him the
medicine, put him to sleep, and he was just right as red the very next day. I can't help it, I can't thank you enough.
それはよかった。
I'm just glad he's doing better. The locals all deeply appreciated Taku's caring nature. They struck up conversations with him, one after another.
あら、レイちゃんも手伝ってくれてるのね。
See you got Ray-chan with you today.
あ、はーい。お手伝いに来ました。
Oh, hi. Yeah, I'm here to help out.
イケメンだから目の保養になるわね。
It's nice to see a handsome face around here.
やだ、そこは美人って言ってくれないと。
Handsome, more like gorgeous, am I right?
Smiling, Ray raised a limp wrist. The women all giggled and boy, I literally, whenever I do the Ray voice, I have like my wrist up with my pinky up. I'm like, yes. Like like Taku. He had an affable personality that was popular with the locals.
とわ、お前も来てたのか。
Oh, I didn't know you were here. Oh, it's my bros. My dude bros. A familiar voice called out to me as I lazily helped with the soup distribution. I looked up. There stood Kotaro, Mayu, and Eiji.
とわ、豚汁姿が様になってるね。
Toa, you look good with pork stew.
豚汁姿って何ですか？
What does that even mean?
知らないよ。
I don't know.
お前らも来るんだな、こういうイベント。
Wasn't expecting you guys to show up to this kind of thing.
そりゃ上からの命令だし、しょうがないよね。
Well, our boss told us to come, so we basically had to.
榊さん、意外とこういうの好きですからね。顔に似合わず。
Believe it or not, Sasaki-san has a fondness for charity events.
榊さんの命令じゃ断れねえだろ。ってことで、飼い主待たせてるから行くわ。
And when he says jump, we say, how high? Anyway, we gotta get back to our slave master. Rolling his eyes, Kotaro stalked off, scratching his head.
ほいじゃ、とわ。
See you later, Toa.
失礼します。
If you'd excuse me.
Eiji bowed politely, then hurried after Kotaro with Mayu.
最近高里組もこういうボランティアのイベントによく来るようになったわね。やっぱりイメージアップを狙ってるのかしら。
The Takasato Gumi's been really getting involved with this kind of stuff lately.
Maybe it's some kind of PR thing? Ray gazed after the three stooges as he stirred the soup pot.
榊が次期組長の座でも狙ってるんじゃないのか。
I figure Sasaki's gunning for the top spot. To me, it was a pretty casual topic, but Ray frowned awkwardly. He probably felt bad that my father died or something.
榊さん、次の組長でほぼ確定らしいわよ。でも、組長の座を狙ってるって言われてる人、もう一人いるじゃない？
I heard he's like practically a shoo-in, but there's another guy going for it, isn't there?
あのメガネの透かしてる方。あっちは来てないのかしら？
You know, the big shot with glasses, is he here too?
どうだろうな。俺は見てない。
No clue, haven't seen him. Ray was referring to Tono Masami, the chief of administration of the Takasato Gumi. Sasaki and Tono were diametrically opposed in every way, and as you might expect, they got along like oil and water. I looked in the direction Kotaro had gone and saw a group of thuggish chiefs, and the guy in suits, all of them Takasato Yakuza probably.
やっぱりライバル同士になるわけだから、顔を合わせたくないのかしらね。他に次期組長候補っていないの？
Basically rivals at this point, so maybe they're with each other? Are there any other candidates?
俺に聞かれてもな。
I wouldn't know. I gazed out at the group of gangsters. The nearby civilians were all giving them a wide berth. The smoke that rose from the group was a swirl of muddy colors. You didn't need to have special powers to know to avoid them. Then I heard Taku calling for me and turned my attention back to the task at hand. Once the long line of people finally dwindled, I was mercifully cut loose. It was just past 2 p.m. I stood in the shade of a tree short distance from the event space, taking a smoke break. As I stared around absently, I caught sight of a familiar man. He was wearing a gray suit and talking to the guy in charge of the charity event. Sasaki. He seemed to sense my gaze. He looked over his shoulder at me, then came walking over straight away.
Oh, hey, Papa.
おう、トアじゃねえか。
Well, it isn't Toa.
Sasaki was the Takasata Gumi's second in command. Given his position, the younger guys all feared him, but he was always pretty nice to me. His smoke was a vibrant green color.
お前はあれか、村瀬さんのお付き合いか。
Let me guess, you're here helping Murase-san.
ああ、さっき小太郎たちと会った。
Yeah, I saw Kotaro and the guys earlier.
ああ、そうか。
Oh, did you?
He slid both hands into his pockets of his slacks and looked around.
まあ、たまにはこういうのもきちんと見に来ねえとな。カジノだ、セレブだってそんなことばかりやってたら、足元がふらついちまうからよ。
It's important to come out to these things every now and then. If we spend all our time at casinos with celebrities, we'd only be setting ourselves up for failure.
今日俺たちも後ろぐらい商売だけじゃやっていけねえんだ。これからは企業としての体裁も整えていかねえとってやつだ。
These days, we can't support ourselves solely on shady business dealings. In short, we have to look part of the real company.
Right. He shrugged off my absent response and grinned.
なんか困ったことがあったらいつでも来いよ。最大限のバックアップをしてやるからよ。
If you ever need anything, feel free to come by. I'll back you up as much as I can.
映画ってのはそう長くは続かねえもんだ。いつ何時戦争が起こるかわからねえからな。
Peace never lasts long, so you never know when another war will break out. So if something goes down, just know you can count on me.
Got it.
それとお前。
Oh, and another thing.
He leaned in to whisper in my ear.
親父の葬儀来なかったな。
I noticed you didn't go to your father's funeral.
行くわけない。
Why would I go?
だよな。お前はそう言って分かっちゃいるんだが。
Right, I had a feeling you'd say that, of course.
There was a suggestive pause as he rubbed his neck.
まあいい。じゃあな。
Well, alright then, see you.
He promptly cut the conversation short and walked off with a wave.
あ、トア、いた。
Oh, Toa, there you are.
Right as he left, Ray ran up behind me.
何？榊さんと話してたの？
What were you talking to Sasaki-san about?
別に挨拶だけ。
Not much, just saying hi.
そう。
Grinting dubiously, he watched Sasaki disappear into the distance.
あの人もよくわかんない人よね。妙に人情派っていうか、トワをすっごく構うし、息子の面倒を見る父親って感じ。
Oh, I don't really get him, you know? He's like weirdly nice, and he's constantly checking in on you. It's like he's trying to be your daddy.
ガキの頃からの付き合いだし。
Well, I've known him since I was a kid, so...
まあ、それもそうか。そういえば、もう一人のメガネの透かした方は、やっぱり来てないみたい。
Yeah, I guess that's what it is. Oh yeah, and apparently the big shot of glasses isn't here after all.
でかいのが揃いも揃って邪魔だよ。
You big dogs are in my damn way.
Out of nowhere, a mountain of styrofoam containers appeared, interrupting us.
何かと思ったら、おばあちゃん。
Whoa, what the? Oh, it's the candy granny.
Beneath the mountain in styrofoam was the old lady who ran Tajima's. As she held her container, she glared up at us sharply. But as soon as she laid eyes on Ray, her expression softened slightly.
なんだよあんた。いたのかい。
It's you. Didn't recognize you.
いたわよ。みんなのお手伝いに来たの。
Yeah, it's me, silly. I came to volunteer.
まあ、人手は大いに越したことはないからね。
Well, we can always use the help.
でしょ？おばあちゃんたちの何倍も働けるから、どんどん言ってちょうだい。
Right? Like, I'm totally as strong as Nox, so put me to work.
ああ、助かるよ。
Alright then, thanks.
Ray had a massive sweet tooth, so he was always buying things at Tajima's. Because of that, the old lady seems to have taken a liking to him.
おばあちゃん、それ大丈夫？持とうか？
You sure you can carry that, Granny sweetie? Let me help you, okay?
いや、これぐらいどうってことないよ。他を手伝いな。
It's not that much. Find something else to do.
わかったわ。でも気をつけてね。
Got it. Just be careful.
ああ。
Yeah.
As she slowly tottered off, Ray waved goodbye and then turned back to me.
イベントは16時までだからもうすぐ終わりよ。そろそろタクのところへ戻りましょう。
The event ends at 4, so we're almost done here. Let's go back and find Taku.
Together, we started walking. Before long, we found Taku stumped on a bench, his hands folded on his stomach, looking up at the sky.
Oh.
Oh, hey. When he spotted us, he forced himself upright, fatigued etched deeply into the lines of his face.
お疲れ様。忙しすぎてあっという間に時間経っちゃったわね。
You deserve to rest. We've been so busy, the time has totally flown by.
本当にな。お前たち何か食べたか？残り物ならまだあるみたいだな。
Yeah, no kidding. You two get a bite to eat yet? There's still some leftovers.
私はさっきもらって少し食べたわ。トアは？
Yeah, I had some a little while ago. What about you, Toa?
いや。
I pulled a pack of cigarettes from the back pocket of my jeans.
まさかあんたのご飯それ？も
う。Don't tell me that's your lunch? Oh my god. Ray shot me a pointed look as I lit one up.
Toa.
I looked over in response to my name. Then Taku jerked his head to point at something. I looked in the direction he indicated and saw Sasaki standing with Kotaro, Mayu, and Eiji.
さっきあいつらと話してただろ。
You were talking with them earlier, weren't you?
ああ、話しかけられたから。
Yeah, but they started.
昔からの顔見知りだから付き合いやすいんだろうが、あまり深く関わるなよ。
I know it's easy to forget since you're old friends, but you don't want to get in too deep with them.
そうね。いつトラブルに巻き込まれるかわかんないし。
Yeah, for sure. You never know when you might get dragged into something.
Ray nodded, frowning. I looked away and didn't say anything. I wasn't trying to get in with any of them. They wanted to talk to me, so I responded, that's all. I was pretty sure Taku understood that, but because he's so paranoid about the Takusado Gumi, he kept nagging me over and over. Ironic, considering how many gangsters he treated at his own clinic.
あ、ねえ、今日はルーストに来るの？
Oh, that reminds me. Are you coming to Roost tonight?
多分。
Probably.
さ、店長が珍しいお酒を仕入れたから、トアに飲んでみてほしいって言ってたわよ。
Andrew's got this weird neuro alcoholic stock, and he wants you to try it.
あまり万人受けしない味らしいんだけど、あんたならいけるんじゃないかって。
Apparently, most people can't stand the taste of it, so he's curious as to what you'd think. Interesting. I was generally willing to drink just about anything alcoholic, so if you wanted me to try something, I was down for it.
今晩お待ちしております。
We look forward to your patronage. Ray pressed one hand to his chest and bowed like a humble butler.
あまり飲みすぎるなよ。
Don't get too drunk now.
私が見張るから任せて。
Don't worry, I'll babysit him. Ignoring their banter, I looked out at the settling sun and exhaled a lungful of cigarette smoke. Slow damage. Late that night. Speaking of which, it's late at night right now. Can I save? After the soup kitchen, the three of us stopped by the local diner. After that, we headed downtown. Okay. Oh. As I wandered around looking for a place to have a drink, I heard sounds of an argument in the distance. If I press S. Oh, there we go! Yeah, I got him. Guess I'll end it here. So, thank you for coming and watching! Ciao ciao for now. Also, I'll be live at the same time tomorrow if you want to see more. Yeah.